How's it going, guys? Welcome back, and I hope you're doing well. So today, we're gonna go over why I think you should give Inner Fury a shot. Now, before we do, as some of you may know, I do like to do unscripted content. So, if it does get a little long-winded, I will put the chapters down below for easy navigation. Other than that, let's get into Inner Fury. So, Inner Fury is a great sword skill, and a great skill at that. Call forth energy from the earth below to pummel nearby enemies. Erupt with energy to gain an effect that increases charge speed for 15 seconds. Charge the skill to consume one additional fury charge or spirit charge and increase the damage. So, using this by itself is going to cost one spirit or one fury. Charging it is going to cost 2. Now the second tier of it, Inner Fury Swift, is going to say charge Inner Fury to increase its attack range and the duration of the charge speed buff. Now this is actually pretty significant, honestly. The range is really, really nice. The duration is nice too, but the range really is the biggest thing. So Inner Fury, now the first thing I'll say about Inner Fury is this is one of the best tools in your toolkit. This along with the other core Greatsword skills is always cemented on my skill bar. And again, if some of you guys, if you watch the stream or if you guys seen my other videos, you can see this as well. This is always on the bar. Right alongside, Phantom Knight's Veil, Furious Swipe, Counter Strike, etc. Now, what's so good about this skill is it's not so much the damage, right? The damage is nice, right? Just kind of like almost like passive damage sometimes. For example, if an enemy, is about to do an AoE that you're gonna run away from, or if they're going to come to you in a grab, right? Things like that. Those are just 2 small examples. You can pop Inner Fury, and then you can dodge, in the grab scenario. You can dodge the grab, or you can run away from the AoE, and there's a little delay, right? There's a little delay, so you can pop the skill, and you can dodge the grab, or you can sprint away. Meanwhile, your enemy is going to stay where you were, right, in your last known location, and they're going to get hit with the entire Inner Fury hits, right? They're going to get hit with the skill as you can continue and maneuver around or continue attacking, right? So like say you pop Inner Fury and then you dodge the grab with Furious Swipe, right? So it's a good way to maintain your DPS while doing other things, right? So you can pop Inner Fury preemptively, and then you can dodge, then you can guard, then you can resume attacking, whatever you need to do. Now, another really good application of this skill is to regen your stamina. So as you're fighting with the Greatsword, right, and if you're watching this video, you may know that you use your spirit skills in conjunction with your stamina skills, right, to combine them in your combos to make the most of a stagger window, right? Or just in a scenario where you're dealing damage. So usually with most things, right, you do a couple stamina skills, you do a couple hits, and then you switch in the combo, you interweave some spirit skills to kind of like you're dipping in both bars, right? Use a little bit of stamina, now I'm going to use a little bit of spirit, now I'm going to use a little bit more stamina, rinse and repeat. But with Inner Fury, it's really nice because you can end it, right? You can end your combo with Inner Fury. So like, for example, let's say you hit Overwhelm, right? Savage Momentum. You hit Savage Momentum, and then with that Savage Momentum, that final slash there, you can hit that Inner Fury, right? And as those Inner Fury hits, are hitting the enemy, it's keeping them staggered. It's maintaining that stagger and allowing you just a little bit of time, right? And again, some of you may know that little bit of time that Inner Fury is resuming stagger on your opponent, that can be a lot of stamina that you're regenerating. That can be 2 or 3 additional hits that you can get with your stamina skills to get some extra damage in, resume the stagger a little longer. Maybe that's what you need to deplete your enemy's stamina bar. But then on top of that, after you regain stamina and you switch back to your stamina attacks, right, that's going to use stamina as a resource, when you use those attacks, you're gaining spirit back, right? So it's a very good skill to help you extend your stamina and spirit bar both, in essence, right? So those are 2 really, 2 small applications that I would say, or 2 common applications. A third very common application for Inner Fury, which is really, really good, that again you can do in conjunction with the last 2, right? Inner Fury is one of the best skills that you have with the Greatsword to get behind your opponent, right? It's very, very easy to get backstab damage with the Greatsword by maintaining stagger and getting behind your opponent with Inner Fury. So a small example again, using the Greatsword, you're almost always going to have Phantom Knight's Veil up, right? You're going to charge Inner Fury, which again, because you have Phantom Knight's Veil, it's also going to maintain stagger while you're charging. So let's say your opponent is staggered, which is very easy to do with the Greatsword, right? Your opponent is staggered, you pop Inner Fury, and then you can either, dodge sprint, or you can just normally sprint, or you can even Furious Swipe, however you want to get there. It's going to leave your opponent staggered. It's going to maintain that stagger to easily, with a very, very easy amount of time, or a large amount of time for you to easily get behind your opponent and then resume attacking them while they're still staggered, maintaining that staggered, getting very, very easy backstab damage. That's another reason why putting points in this is also a very good investment for Greatsword users. So as you can see, additional points in Inner Fury will increase the number of hits, right? So you think about it, that's not just more damage, that's more hits, which means that's more stagger, right? It's a longer time that they're maintaining stagger, which means that that's a longer time for you to get behind them, and that's more stamina that you're regenning, right? So all in all, a phenomenal skill, very, very useful. Its practical application is, I use it every time I play. Now, also, I will say that's more of the usage of it, but I want to talk real quick about the buff that you get, the charge speed buff. Now, the charge speed buff is nice, but it's not the main focus of the skill, which is odd, I know, because you think to yourself, oh, well, the primary reason I would use it is for the buff. Not necessarily. The reason why is because the Overwhelm skill, giving you charge speed after Savage Momentum, as well as, and this is really the biggest part, is Heavy Pressure. Heavy Pressure is a really, really good skill, but I think that the charge speed buff for Inner Fury, it's mainly good for kind of acting as like a safety net, right? So a good example is after you hit Armor Breaker, right? We use Armor Breaker a lot. So if you use Armor Breaker, it's not a charge skill. So let's say you use Armor Breaker after Ghost Arm block or after a Counter Strike, and then you find yourself wanting to do a Potent Blow. Well, Armor Breaker isn't charged, right? So you're not going to be getting extra charge speed from Heavy Pressure or Overwhelm. In this case, that's the most used scenario for me when the Inner Fury charge speed buff really comes in clutch. Again, it acts that safety net, because most of the time when we're using Greatsword, there's a certain flow to it, right? So we're constantly utilizing Heavy Pressure, we're constantly utilizing Overwhelm to chain our charged attacks together, right? So, you hit Savage Momentum into Mortal Blow, then you can hit, a charged Spirit skill, then a charged Potent Blow, and then another charged Spirit skill, right? So chaining your charged attacks together is pretty, it's pretty normal, right? It's pretty frequent when using the Greatsword, but if maybe, you lose the flow, or, maybe you run out of stamina, or you run out of spirit, or whatever, that Inner Fury charge speed buff is really nice to act as a failsafe, right? If you lose your momentum, if you lose the flow, whatever happens, it's kind of a nice safety net, in my opinion. Now, other than that, a couple things I want to touch on. The way that I like to use it most, right? So I've kind of gone over the general applications of the skill as a whole, but now the way that I like to use it the most personally is is instantly charged. Now, I use this frequently with Fury Swipe Agility and Ghost Arm Block Overpower, and the reason why is because, again, for not only for those areas that I mentioned, but the recovery frames on Inner Fury are very, very good. It's fast enough that you can actually get, if you're quick enough on the skill, you can actually get a charged Inner Fury and then a charged Counter-Strike in right after the other skill, if you use Fury Swipe Agility. So if I use Fury Swipe Agility, let's see if I can actually demonstrate it here without an enemy. If I use Fury Swipe Agility, we know that it gives me an instantly charged buff, right? So I can actually pop Fury Swipe Agility, and then I can get an instantly charged Counter-Strike right after. It's that fast that you can maintain that you can get that skill in there in the small window that you have Fury Swipe Agility. You can do it with Ghost Arm Block Overpower as well, but it's even tighter. It's really, really tight. But the thing is that even if you're not using Fury Swipe Agility or Ghost Arm Block Overpower, it's still a very safe skill to use. That's really the essence of it, right? It's very safe. So, and I have a couple fights here for you that kind of demonstrate, I use Fury Swipe Agility, I use Ghost Arm Block. I kind of use it, I tried to cover all of the applications with different weapons. Because if I'm not using it instantly charged, I will mostly use it as a tool to get behind my enemy to just get that easy backstab damage. Because Greatsword with rear assault, attacking from the rear is very, very hefty damage. But as you can see here, you can use it in a slow way, but you can also use it in a very fast way. So that's something to note. It's a very safe skill. Don't be afraid to pop it in between certain attacks. Or, again, if you have the charge speed buff, if you have, heavy pressure, let's say you use Savage Momentum, which you use Savage Momentum, and then you're going to benefit from Overwhelm and heavy pressure. You pop that Inner Fury, it's going to be very fast, but then again, it's very safe because you can Counter-Strike right after it, you can guard right after it, you can dodge, you can Furious Swipe right after it. It's very safe, it's very fast, and then all in all, it's just a really, really good skill, and it has a lot of utility. Don't sleep on the skill. Don't think that, it's just for a charge speed buff, right? It has a lot of applications, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised if you try to fit it in your combo a little more than you may be already. So guys, that's all I have for you about Inner Fury. It's a very good skill. I use it every time I play Greatsword. Definitely don't sleep on it. Yeah, I got a couple fights for you. I got a couple fights for you. Again, I'm going to try to go over all of the applications. I hope you enjoy. Get some speedy Greatsword gameplay today. Yeah, other than that, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. We're almost at our 1 million goal. It's going to be a wonderful time when we get there. Yeah, definitely want to be a part of the first million club. So, other than that, that's all I got. Hope you enjoy the videos, and I will see you in the next one.